because the one side of the English alphabet is missing, which is the capital lettering. It's not really being utilized, and consciousness isn't brought up yet. Because it's so one-sided, I just lost my mental train. I had such the most brilliant thing to expose, try to get people to look into it and see for themselves. Maybe it'll come back again. Sorry about that. But it does have to do with some things, well, that are missing in perception. Whether or not that we can make money work for us positively, because right now it's all hush money. Shh, and just believe in the bullshit. Yeah. Me personally, I'm going through something pretty heavy duty, but I think a lot of people are on a collective scale. I happen to think my situation is worth writing a book over, but it's not over yet, kind of a thing, or it's not even, um, yeah, it's not over. And will it ever be over? This is what is nightmarish. You know, the worst, if there is a hell, really, a lot of people find it hard to distinguish what hell is, because they don't have any feelings, I guess, I don't know. They've never stepped on a rusty nail barefooted. But for the rest of us who have, we don't need to be told that it's not fun. Okay, so no, real life hell is being in a relationship that you do not want to be in. It's called entanglement, really. Yeah, it's called a situationship where you're bound down. A lot of it, well, it makes me think of, oh God, it's happening everywhere out there. And somebody, I hate to talk about it like this, but somebody dragged me into it. And it's entangling because you can't really talk to them about it, right? You, not me. Fucking people. Get your story straight, sorry. God, this video, I gave it my best shot with a lot of things. I don't think I'm going to be fucking putting this on YouTube, but if I do, maybe it will help to tell you that, you know what? See, I've been kind of begging for help, and it's like beating around the bush for, well, I think I got pretty damn intense 3 years ago. See, now, I could reset this whole fucking video and just say, hi folks, I wanted to talk about narcissism and or your toxic people. Maybe it's about your horrible friend, your relationship that you don't want, that's there, that it's like, oh, I gotta deal with this person again. And there they go again. I don't see why that anybody has to go through being vulnerable with something that is not doing it the same way that you do it, I guess. See, I'm 50 years old, and so I have a different vibe than when I was 25, right? If I was to talk to you about something, but I would say back then I was doing a lot better because I had like 3 jobs or 4 or something like that, and more love in my life. God, I don't know how to talk about it. I do. See, what I do is I try to heal the situation. That's the dynamic that can happen with your narcissist and you, or you who's a narcissist and them. I don't know, but whoever's saving who, hard to tell who's who, right? The confusion they put us in. I am so tired of it. it's like I'm meant to go through this thing that keeps me on the verge of tears, and I'm well. It doesn't help that here. Let me get my glasses and talk about this more. Pardon me. At 14 degrees, I think it is when Mercury goes station and goes retrograde. Right now is when I'm making the video. Well, it's on the 18th when it does this. And that degree, 14 degrees, 15, yeah, it's right there because I have a 14 and 55 minutes. It might as well be 15 degrees, my moon in Aquarius. It's right there opposing my moon. And so I'm going through something, having to handle my emotionality in a communicative way, which is very Leonian right now. Okay, so but for me, Libra, that's the way it would just start to express. We have an aspect in the air of the Mercury going retrograde. So if you're going to try to it has to do with retrograde or redo or reinstate or anything, right? Recall, replenish, replace, re-establish, reconcile. Anyway, I put a lot of work in my relationships, especially the personal one-on-one ones that seem to form, if they're an intimate one, relationship. I tend to do work that, first of all, it's working on me, right? I have to level up and see the complaint I have. Oh my God, see, I'm kind of giving you guys personal information. You wouldn't believe it right now, but I'm like totally on the verge of tears right now. And it's because of a combination of things, but no, the worst thing that can happen to us here on this plane is that we get entangled with people that they are, well, just to put it bluntly, is two-faced. But there's volumes and volumes of describing what we mean when we say that, because these are people that live a double life. It's like they tell you a story about one thing. See, it's one-sided. It can be one-sided. You have your version of what happened because they are like ripping you off or something, and then they have their version. I'm experiencing something where it's a quagmire. It's a cool word. And then what's another word is enigma. It's pretty much a stalemate as far as I'm concerned. It's bittersweet. It's like, oh God, I could be doing better, uh, getting myself more and more weaned away from this influence. It just so happens it's the wrong energy in my life. See, for one, they don't communicate, so I come on here and start communicating. They have a form and a way, a style of communicating that, whether they know it, like it or not, it is so one-sided, and in fact, it's a blank as far as I'm concerned, that it's dehumanizing. It's dehumanizing for me. It's just been a derailing for me. I'm pretty sure, because and I try not to look at it like this. Oh my God, 11 minutes? If it's only 2 minutes, it's because I just erased all of this personal fucking shit that, okay, so why am I talking about it on YouTube? How vulnerable I'm making myself, right? And then what is it going to get me? Except for, you know what I think, people, ladies and gentlemen, you fucking people out there looking at this video, what do you want, babes? Most people that are following me on my channel, they like the content when I talk about narcissists and narcissism. I knew about this thing a long time ago. A lot of us would if we pay attention to the vibrations of people, right? And most of the time, if you're surrounded with love enough and you have enough resources, right, you don't have to worry about these people. You can feel sorry for them and share with them and then realize that, well, it's always going to turn up into this thing where they are handicapped. So what you do is you have mercy on them. You you have patience. You treat them as, I don't know if you've worked with handicapped or extremely elderly people or people who are injured even. It's just that you know they can't do certain things. You're there for just a certain time. Of course, you're not going to obligate yourself emotionally to invest your whole entire constitution upon them because they are knocked down. There's many forms of being having a shortcoming enough to where you're rendered handicapped, and narcissists are one of them. Yes, if they are malignant cases, and the statistic is high, people. Fuck, man, this video, babes. I've been going through so much that it's the common theme where you feel it in your body and you're getting sick because you're going through some kind of thing that you know, what happened? Why is it that you're relying on this disabled person? They're going to make you sick. They bring you down to their level of disability. You've seen the rotten fruit touching the rotten fruit, and then the ripe fruit, and then the ripe fruit starts to get the funguses and stuff like that. Fuck, man, if I put this video up, it's going to be next year in July. I'm going through such a difficult time. The truth is I wish that I could send this to just some specific people that I wish that I see if I I'm trying to get out of the negativity that they cause and it can cause in us. See, first of all, call it a narcissist, but I don't know. There's just people that run a game. There's spiritual warfare. Is it a demon? Is it Satan himself saying, fuck, there's God, and I would love to ruin your chances of leaving a good mark in this place, or even getting anywhere with your life, like what you deserve to have coming. And here I am, I know just on the most divine scale that it's meant to be. You're supposed to go through that. And I say, you know what? No! That's the same as saying that you're supposed to get lung cancer or breast cancer or fucking all this inflammation or, you know, um, die early. And I say, no, no. And we already know you could be one that knows too, that says, no, Shauna, all illnesses are, and I'm going to say it, bad language, it might be bad language, man-made. I don't pick on men or women that the reason why this quagmire is happening of how that it's such an unconscious program of fucking stark-raving shit. Generationally, right now, you have to look out for the people from the 60s. And in 10 years, you're going to have to look out for the people from the 70s. That's me. Like, what are we doing? See, there's deterioration going on, man. See, a lot of people don't know this. Narcissist. You don't know anything. It's impossible for them to know anything. They have no understanding of anything. That's why they have money. They're protected by that. Money doesn't require you to have a good connection with diddly squat, especially not your moral mind. Anyway, I was going to try to keep a train of thought here. Boy, this Mercury is right opposed my fucking moon, and I'm trying to be strategic in my way of trying to level up so that I can just get on my feet and not be cut at the knees by people causing codependence you know, so you can't fucking fake an interest, really. If you're interested, it's going to be what you talk about, you know. In astrology, we look at the Mercury to see what a person is possibly interested in talking about. It's really kind of cool that astrology is on top of all kinds of other things. You can look at a person's Mercury to find out what subject matter would strike their ear, right? I mean, a lot of people use these tools like astrology and other things that can make you more psychic and sharp about the possibility of things. They use them for as black magic and like to try to benefit, like to do dark things, and it's like whatever, because that backfires after a while. You start playing with that stuff and it'll play with you, and you start getting just as screwed up. But anyway, I finally got that fucking Cash App and PayPal and Venmo, and then just surrendered to like just say fuck it, let Facebook know my bank account because there's nothing in it anyway, and we have to change it into a protection service because there's a problem with this manipulation thing that the government does it. Oh no, see, manipulation goes deeper than just money there, but money is able to do it best. Money manipulation. And that's just how it is, kids, right now. You have a one-sided conversation. And I don't want to handle that anymore. It drives me fucking crazy to the point of tears. See, the people that are trying to help me, they're projecting on me by way of how it feels like this, it's like this. Well, besides for the pitying thing, that they don't want to see me in a certain way because the way that they keep me in their mind is their preference, and it's like, man, because here's the thing: is I'm so alone. They haven't been here. That's part of my fucking problem. Is I don't have a good connection, especially with this one single solitary entity. I don't consider it a good connection because there isn't. It's not. No, and God, minute 22. Boy, I'm going to be editing this a lot. But I just have to say, I'm sorry, it doesn't communicate enough for one. And that's, well, I've gotten enough communication from them a long time ago. Fuck this fucking video, I swear to God. I don't like this quality. See how much they take up my being? You know, I'm somebody who's on a mission. And I think that I should have a community around me that I can be heard by many, many people, not just this one person where it's just reduced down to fucking shop talk or like, you know, nothing. Weather. What are you eating today? And fuck, man, I wish life was that easy, man. I wish I could be that stupid and just have that be enough. No, I'm hurting because narcissists are boring. Oh, they're really boring. To me, it's really boring to like go to the movies. It is. It's oh, that's a lot of money for one, and that's a fucking waste of money. Excuse me. I own a home and a car, and I have animals. Is there something we can buy them to kind of enhance our lives and entertain ourselves there? I swear. See, I'm very different, and that's why I'm going through easy times and hard times that I go through. And it really, wow, after 25 minutes here and the shit that I talked about and almost talked about also, but it was also just, I'm thinking it's just, it shouldn't be that it's too much, babes. I should be able to say, excuse me, what happened? They're so unconscious. It's like, you know what? I don't have time for this. It might have been like 25 years ago or even 10 years ago that I would be able to handle the work that it takes whatever kind of exorcism or whatever it is to make this person useful to me and work and not make me sick. And, to have avoided yielding myself naturally. A woman will yield herself to a man if he brings what she needs to her enough times and it's right on the spot. If he's getting so good to where he doesn't even fucking have to ask or even listen, he just looks around and he's now just doing it. And she can say, I need it like this, and it's like that, but even a little better. And it's like, she's going to yield herself 100% to him. See, I'm not making this up. This is the main complaint, right? It's common, but do they push it under the carpet now? Does anybody talk about it? I know that there's this one woman, her name is Esther Perel, I think, and she's a sex therapist on YouTube. And you listen, and she travels the world, and she's been working on what been working on for. Well, first of all, babes, if you're an alive woman, it's any woman's lifelong project. And then you have to say something. First of all, you have to say something right away, and then at the end, you're saying something. Talk and words and communication, that's the woman's field arena. She says like 60,000 more words a day than a man does because she's doing quality control right at the spigot, Hi, do you remember me? See, if I was, see, I'm kind of down. God, I didn't explain myself. It was like 4 years ago I got on here, and uh, maybe call it midlife crisis, but then for all of us, it's been a hell of a change, and right, society collapsing, after the C-19 announcement, I guess, and I say that I'm going through a slow but sure transition that is very good. See, there's some people that listen to that. They know that you're going through transition, which could involve you turning over your assets and getting on top of it. And now you're sitting on a pot of gold. And you can have a love life, you can get a business, you can get your motorcycle. And they say no. And they're going through some kind of fucking hell. Now, let me get back to the generations that might be dragging down other generations because that's happening. See, they were taken by the system and they don't have their life and they're grabbing onto people that are coming onto a life and they're saying, no! Yep, yep. And money gets that done. How? How? Well, it's a war machine. It's a social experiment, psyops, psychological operations, and programming people up to be something of a trippy thing for the next generation. It's remarkable. And now what I detect is like, no, now it's getting more and more into just spam. Spam, babe. See, the future generation cannot live on fucking spam. And talk about what's really going on, folks. You are being farmed. And there is, guess who that they care the least for? I mean, where you're just another one bites the dust. You are most likely a useless eater, but just file them in and file them out. A homeowner, a land/property owner. Now, having said that, let's take a look at the fucking realtor sharks, the ones that know the business, right? They're playing. It's a game. Get into it, and they're floating around, literally, probably floating in the ocean, just spitting water out their snorkels saying, I did it, and they're going to try and sell it to you on the internet. You could do it too. Really, people are getting undermined. Nobody's being helped. They're just being undermined and shift, and shake and bake and people, and Having fun yet? Some fucking God, and I don't know. I can go on and on about something here. I did start to talk about something in the beginning that is it, did I erase it? The game isn't being played wholesomely. Like what I mean is half of the players are up and running. Maybe they just can't. Maybe they're just losing it too much. And I say it could be changed in no time flat. And this is where I'll end this program. Be resilient. Be resilient. And so, what's your story? I have my story that I'm preparing to write. It could be it could sound like fiction, but it's based on a real experience. And I bet you anything, out of all the big black books that they've already written, particularly the Bible, there's a story about this already. Yeah, if there's a story about the enslavers are demons and satanic, and the ones that they enslave are not necessarily that way, but they can turn that way. They can just be comfortable in that bondage, in that addiction, complete deception. It's darkness. It's like, but do people talk about it? Do people really reflect? Or is it just a ho hum? What are people doing out there nowadays? Comment section down below.